They always lie about how many beers they have. So if she says I had muscle relaxants 12 hours ago, it's like the guy that says he had 2 beers. She's admitted she put something in her body. So let's look into it further. That gives weight. But when you throw in the fact that she admitted consuming controlled substances, I equate it to this. Have you been drinking tonight, sir? Oh, I had 2 beers. Okay, yeah, I read this one. Okay, so go ahead and hit your high points.
Did you mind me?
Yeah, you first. Your motion.
Thank you so much, Aaron. So, as indicated in there, we're gonna rely on the motion that we found, but just the high points are this. The defendant was stopped by a third party. And so what happened is, they did do a PBT and it came out with 000. They did a nystagmus test. And there was no nystagmus. They did the walk and turn test and she did pass that. The tests that they administered, I think, were more geared toward alcohol intoxication, not really whether she's under the influence of drugs. There's other tests that they can use, convergence, and other tests, they didn't use those tests. So basically, we gotta look at this case as the officers looked at it at the time of the arrest. So we don't have the benefit of having the result of the blood test.
Yeah, they're on the street at this point.
So there's some, I think, important conversation between the officer and the witness who originally stopped Mr. Parker. And so what the officer had told the witness was that they were still trying to figure out if the defendant had a medical issue. And then there was several conversations that went back and forth as to this issue. And the officer indicated to the witness, and that's sort of the state of mind, that they were still trying to figure out whether she had a medical issue, Your Honor. And the other thing is, sort of the point of my motion is when you submit a affidavit for search warrant, you can't just leave certain things out. There's a Frankenstein. And so one of the big points they were making is that my client indicated that it was Saturday when it was Monday, but they forgot to indicate that they asked her how many quarters in the dollar. She said 4. Nothing's indicated in the affidavit to that extent. They also asked her who was the president. She said Biden. So, so I think the affidavit is slightly slanted when they don't give all the information to the magistrate. So I think this is kind of an unusual case because you generally don't have a party
involved
stopping someone, on a misdemeanor case,
Did you attach the affidavit to your?
There's a test.
It's on your response. I thought I had seen one. All right, keep going.
I just think that based on the officers, it didn't seem like they knew what was going on. And the tape that I saw, the paramedic indicated to the officer that my client was answering questions appropriately. Now, to be fair here, some of the portions of the tape were redacted and we couldn't understand some of the conversation, but the information that we got that we could, and it's footnoted in my motion.
Right.
So I think based on all that, it's not a alcohol case, it's a drug case, and they really weren't sure what was going on, and she's hypoglycemic. And they had that information as well. They did check her sugar in the paramedics did say they thought her sugar was fine at that. So that's the high point. So
Yeah. So your argument is they had no reason to believe there was a crime being committed. Send her on her way.
well, I think really what happened is in the pragmatic view is they wanted her to go to the hospital. And I think if she went to the hospital, I'm just guessing, I'm just being straightforward here, Your Honor. I think that would have been maybe the end of it, I don't know. But, for whatever reason, she didn't, want to go to the hospital. So I think that's why things escalated to the point where they were.
Okay, response.
This party assisted police by having Mr. Parker board because according to him, the suspect vehicle drove into oncoming traffic, drove off the road, almost crashed at Chad's gas station, had been driving up the shoulder out of the on-ramp upon his way to 275. Probable cause is determined based on the totality of the circumstances. Here, we had, well, the defendant claimed that the only information that police relied on were the fact that the defendant was on 700 feet or practically. However, defendant deeply discounts, if not admits entirely, her own admission to consuming controlled substances that evening. Specifically, when she told the paramedics that she took Xanax, which is a muscle relaxer. Defendant had slurred speech, trouble with dexterity, trouble maintaining balance, was driving in reverse without realizing it, had a delayed response time, got the day of the week and the year wrong. Defendant had trouble getting in and staying in the starting position, used her arm to balance, took the incorrect number of steps, failed to walk and turn. Eventually, the officer had to stop the field sobrieties in fear of her safety because she was falling over. Defendant argues that the arrest was based on a guess between two plausible explanations, implying that her behavior was because of some sort of medical emergency, which is precisely why police called medics to the scene. However, once the medics, again, the minute is like, I'm not going to be able to check her. She was normal, but she did disclose that she was hypoglycemic, so they wanted to make sure that that was okay.
Right.
She did disclose that she took a muscle relaxer that evening, and even the medic said that most people who take muscle relaxers should not operate a vehicle. It is clear here that based on all of that, there was more than a probable cause to suspect that the defendant had been operating while intoxicated. But frankly, the officers believed that she was intoxicated or impaired before they called medics, while they called medics, and after they called medics, which is precisely why, when she was cleared, they arrested her under suspicion of overcrowding. I realized then that the defendant argues that the search warrant provides no information to support that there was presence of drugs in the defendant. However, again, the defendant fails to mention on the form itself, the officer very clearly identified that the defendant was arrested for operating under the influence of drugs, that the PDT administered was 0.00, that he goes into the walk and turn, the one leg stand, believed that they were under the influence based upon his personal observations. Defendant seems to believe that because the omission of stating that medics were on the scene is somehow indicative of being defective. However, it didn't matter. She was cleared. So it had nothing to do with the medical emergency and all to do about what she had consumed, which is precisely why they sought a search warrant. He also fails to mention what it might have been, well, I believe it was in the police report, but she also admitted to taking, in addition to the muscle relaxer, Xanax and nicotine. Even if this court determines that the search warrant for blood was somehow defective, there is the good faith exception rule here. The officer relied on that search warrant to obtain the blood, got the blood, and it was found out to believe, well, to be clear that the suspect or defendant had more than 8 times the therapeutic drug range of the Xanax. So the suspicions were confirmed with the blood test.
Mr. Bohannes.
Yeah, just briefly. Sure. Your Honor, first of all, to put it in clear context, she indicated that she took her medication at midnight. She was stopped at 12 noon the next day. So I just don't want to make sure.
Right, I got the content, got the hourly, yeah.
So, and there's in the, but she wants to rely on Now, going to this, medical report, which is afterwards, it's 4 times, it's not 8 times the therapeutic limit. The therapeutic limit is up to 100 milliliters per,
Okay.
and so, but, as I said, the officer, why would the officer indicate to the witness, witness that they're still investigating, they think it's a medical issue, and then say anything with regard to, she's, they think she's under the influence of drugs. And right after he told her that he thought it, was a medical issue, they arrested him. Right after that. So I do think, when you take into consideration that the tests that were given are meant for alcohol intoxication, not drug, under the influence of drugs. And that when the best thing that shows the officer's state of mind is his own statements to this other witness, because there's, that's telling you what he's thinking. And when he said clearly on the tape was that we don't know. We're still investigating a medical issue. And then within less than a minute, she's arrested. There's nothing else substantial. And if you want to go to the drug test, there's nothing other than the Xanax, the Pramlazine in her system. And it's, where is that?
Yeah, there's a couple of results. That was the quantified. There was also detected of doxylamine, dexto, trimethylforin, and lexomethylforin.
Oh, yeah, that.
It's detected in that one. I don't even know what that is.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No.
Just briefly, according to the revised critical care 2020 therapeutic dosage range, alprazolam was actually therapeutic dosage range of 5 nanograms to 50 nanograms. And the milliliter is determined to have 415 nanograms per milliliter. And the defendant is inaccurate when saying that the officers believe she was having a medical emergency. Again, at the time of the stop or the time of the connection, during the medical evaluation and after the medical evaluation, they believe that she was impaired at the time of her operation of the vehicle, which is why they arrested her based on that and saw a search warrant.
Okay. Thank you. I remember any time I get one of these, when they're talking about the search warrant, of course, I put myself in the place of the magistrate to sign the search warrant. So first of all, let's avoid the suspense. I'm going to deny your motion. Now let me explain why. So first of all, I think it's pretty solid just on all the driving issues. I think that's pretty solid. Then you add on to that the medical team that had checked the lady out and says, we can't find anything wrong with her. Her blood sugar is good. That gives weight. But when you throw in the fact that she admitted consuming controlled substances, I equate it to this. Have you been drinking tonight, sir? Oh, I had 2 beers. Okay. They always lie about how many beers they have. So if she says I had muscle relaxants 12 hours ago, it's like the guy that says he had 2 beers. She's admitted she put something in her body. So let's look into it further. The fact that the officer told something to a civilian witness, I mean, maybe the officer didn't want to get into too much of the business with the civilian witness. I don't know. But I think just what the officer had, the medical team said there was no medical issue they could find. The lady admits she's been consuming controlled substances at some point in the recent past. They've got seriously erratic driving, and I think that's putting it mildly. I think it's plenty of probable cause for them to arrest and then find out what's in her system. So motion's denied. Can we pre-try it today? Do we not have anything else going on? Okay, so I'll kick you back out in to do what you do. You're welcome. So, Bill, how are you?
A motion in Lydia Moylan.
Good morning, Mr. Patar. Is this Mr. Boone? All right, good morning, Mr. Boone. Counsel, your appearance for Mr. Boone?
Yeah, what's on behalf of Mr. Boone here?
Got it. Okay, tell me about it.
To allow me no license.
All right. Mr. Boone, did you discuss your rights with Mr. Batar?
Yes.
You understand those rights and the options they present to you? You understand the possible penalty for the added charge? And understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily to the added charge today? Did you drive a vehicle in Sumter Township on July 13, 2024 while your license was suspended, revoked, or denied? I'll accept your plea to the added charge if Mr. Batar is satisfied with the factual basis. All right, I'll dismiss the civil infraction as well. Why don't you tell me about Mr. Boone so I can decide what sentence should be?
He had a license up until a few months ago. He's going to work on getting it back again. Outstanding works. We understand the statement of responsibility.
All right, so what's standing between you and driving legally? Money that you got to pay other courts? That's all it is a money thing? Okay. Are you working? When's the last time you worked and where were you working?
Like about a month and a half ago at Prosecution.
Okay, and how long were you there? All right. Anything you want me to consider before I sentence you? All right, so you owe us money on other tickets. Do you owe other courts too? Or is it just us that's stopping you from getting your license?
I believe it's just.
Okay, because what I see is an impeding traffic and no proof of insurance ticket. And then we've got a Sumter registration or plate charge. That's part of this one.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And you're not working, so you got no income coming in. Do you have reliable transportation? I mean, you got a relative that can get you around if you need to go someplace?
Only if it's like those.
Yeah, yeah. You're in Ipsy, so is this area close enough?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm willing to do for you. I'm willing to give you my standard $500 fines and costs and waive that if you get your license reinstated within a reasonable amount of time. And then I'm willing to give you a way that you can pay this $804 off without cash money. So we've got a program here we call our community enrichment program. If you hook up with Mr. Taylor, who runs that program, and he tells you on these dates and times, you got to show up at these locations and do labor, we'll credit you towards your fines and costs and get this closed off. This $800 that you owe on these other ones, we'll get those closed out. I think from what you're telling me, then you can go get your license back, come show me your license, and that'll close today's file. Is that a workable plan for you? Now you can always just pay the $804. You know, if you got a grandmother that wants to hand you money or something like that, but I'm giving you a way to take care of the whole thing with no green.
When that would. And possibly cost them to 800 and the 500 or I just have to pay 500.
No, literally what I'm going to do is say on this file, today's file, you owe $500, but I'm going to pay you $500 to show me your license. Right? So if you don't do it, for example, if I give you 30 days to do this, we'll talk about whether or not that's enough time. If I give you 30 days to do this and you don't do it, then you owe me this 500 plus the other 804. You follow me? So I'm putting a big monkey on your back. You got, if you commit to it, you got to get it done or it's going to really cost you. Making sense? All right. Now, is 30 days enough time to do that? If you don't think it is, I'll give you 60. But whatever you commit to, there's no more time. You follow me? So if you come to me in 45 days and say, I don't think I'm going to get it done in 2 weeks. I need some more time. I'm going to say, no. All right. So 60 is enough. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you 60. If after you talk to Mr. Taylor, he says he can't find enough work for you within 60 days, then we'll look at it again. I don't think he's gonna have a problem.
Yes, work off at 804 and try and get your license, correct, Judge?
Yeah. Brother, this is a really good deal. Seriously, do you know anybody else that the court paid them $500 to get their license? Yeah. Where'd you go to high school? You graduate? When? What was your GPA? You survived COVID in school.
Yeah, it cut my last year short, but.
Yeah.
My GPA was maybe either 3.1 or it was between 2.
Okay. All right. So what are your plans? Okay, good. We need a lot of that lately.
So Judge, it's 500
Today's file's 500 or a valid ops
within 60 days.
within 60. And on the 804, I just sent it down to community enrichment. I don't think Mr. Taylor is in the building today. All right. So go downstairs and check and see if he's here. Come on up. Once again, monkey's on your back. If he's not down there to talk to him today, you got to get in touch with him quick because you only got 60 days to make this plan work. Got it? Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. How about Kenneth? Is it Swihart?
That one's a dismissal.
How are we doing? Excellent. So let's see. When did I see you last?
December 13th.
So tell me what's been going on in your life.
So I got out, I left a manual house, recovery house, May 1st. I apologize for not coming.
You finished the program though. Yeah.
I have paperwork that I could email Emily.
Okay. Okay.
I would have stayed longer, but they were getting evicted because they lost grants from the VA.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm living in Lincoln Park with my father. He's retired, why not come?
What's your sobriety plan?
My clean date, 2023. I'm clean today.
Okay. So what are you doing to stay that way? I mean, you may
I got,
house.
I got 2 weeks, every 2 weeks I go to an NA meeting, it's called Recovery with Rock. I'm looking for a new sponsor because.
Okay.
my Sponsor was attached to a manual housing.
Ah.
When everyone was left there.
Right. Yep.
In the process of getting the license back, I paid mine not off my probation fees, I don't know.
Is that all it is money?
No, I had it involved.
Okay.
I had this.
Waiting for results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have an attorney with you?
No, I didn't have 4,000 versus pay for an attorney. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the problem. Did you talk to more than one attorney? All right.
All at least 4,000.
Yeah. So the problem is, and thanks be to God, as my grandmother said, I never went through it personally, but I've talked to a lot of people in your shoes. And what I've heard, what I've seen is if you've got an attorney that specializes in that, or at least does a lot of it, they know exactly how to get you set up so that when you go in for your first hearing, you get something, right? Because they know the things that the hearing officer is going to want. So they'll tell you in advance, get this done, get this done, get this done before you even go in to see the hearing officer, right? So when you leave the hearing officer, you've accomplished something. Probably, is this your first hearing, the one you went to last week? Yeah. So I'm going to guess, and I'm not trying to jinx you, but I'm going to guess all you're going to hear from them is, here's a list of things we want you to accomplish before we see you again. Okay.
Well, I did do the restoration packet.
Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Paperwork from.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Well,
no reason why they-
Good luck. Good luck.
no reason why they shouldn't be restricted, but I just don't have a good feeling.
I've had more than one attorney tell me that a lot of it isn't whether or not they can check enough boxes. It's how bad do you want it? So my cynical mind, well, you've paid an attorney, you want it bad enough to come up with that money. And if you don't do that, then they might want to have you jump through some extra hoops just to make sure you want it bad enough.
My attorney, that's all
Yeah.
What is he, man? He basically told me, he goes, you can pay me this money, but I can't even guarantee you that.
Yeah,
this-
yeah. No, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Yeah. So are you working now? Okay, okay. Yeah. It's, so is it full-time?
It's no, it's between 30 and 40 hours a week.
Okay, all right.
I live with him, so it's
It's
just,
easy. Transportation isn't an issue.
I
No,
would have had him come up and sit with me, but he's, can't walk that good.
no, that's, I trust what you're telling me. Okay.
Joe, we're ready for the
That's the security one, thank you.
That means a donut showed up.
I'll ship it then.
Oh, no, she would have known, she would have understood that, trust me.
All right. You got any other court cases going on?
No,
Okay.
I want to take care of it. Last one. Can you ask me what I know?
Yeah, give me a minute. Let me find the right piece of paper. Yeah, usually when you're represented, you don't sign anything. Yeah, you pled guilty to the larceny charge. 12 months, now reporting probation, no fines or costs, told you to work the program at Emmanuel House.
I seem to think that we got it dropped to a disorderly. I said, that doesn't make sense.
I don't think it was. That's not what the ROA shows.
I mean, I'm gonna know this one. What's the case number?
21-0850.
So, and after the detective question, the evidence of the case, and I didn't get a response from him. And I was gonna fight the case, but my attorney was said that he's getting out today.
Is there a plea on the bottom? It would have been in person because it was Zelman.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ROA.
Yeah, the ROE doesn't state anything. but
Yeah.
There's plea agreement.
There's nothing on the blue sheet. Usually I stamp it with the reduced plea.
Right.
Yeah, so my notes that I make on the blue sheet, that doesn't mean anything to you, but there's one place I make notes by hand, and then there's another note where it gets typed in when she's doing it. Both reflect that it was no reduced plea. All right, good luck to you. Just send it down to Emily, I guess. No, you're good. You're good. Miss Medina, you ready on Thomas?
Yes, sir. Christopher Medina, on behalf of Ms. Anita Thomas. Ms. Thomas, would you can unmute, turn on your video and state your name for the record, please?
My camera is actually cracked, so I can't use my camera, but my name is Anissa Thomas.
If you don't have a camera, we can take care of it without.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So why do we have two plea agreements? We got,
Your Honor, there's one count of DWS out of Sumter.
yep. Yep, I got it.
Straight up to the DWS out of Huron.
Yep.
She's also pleading guilty to one count of DWS out of Sumter Township. The other two DWS and the speed 1 to 5 would be dismissed pursuant to this, Your Honor.
Okay.
Additional points that will be added to her license for each of these misdemeanors, Your Honor.
Do we care which DWS gets pled to and which?
Added a specific record.
Okay, all right. Yep, so I'm going to dismiss DWS ending in 192 and 105B. All right, so Miss Thomas, did you discuss your rights and options with Miss Medina today?
Yes,
You understood all those?
yes,
And do you understand the possible penalty for the charge of drove while license suspended, revoked, or denied?
yes,
Understanding all that, I've been told that you're going to plead to two different charges of drove while license suspended, one from Sumter Township and one from Huron Township. Is that in fact correct?
yes,
All right. So the first one I've got is February 27, 24 in Huron. Were you driving a car there and then?
Yes.
And at the time, was your license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes.
All right. And how about July 3rd, 24 in Sumter? Were you driving a car there and then?
Yes.
And were you also suspended then?
Yes.
Ms. Medina, are you satisfied? All right, I will dismiss the speeding ticket ending in 713B and the two GWS files that I mentioned earlier, and I am ready to sentence Ms. Thomas. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your client?
She's currently unemployed. She is a stay-at-home mom at this time. She does have a 2-year-old daughter. He says she maintains stable residence in Ypsilanti. She understands that she should not be driving around. Of course, we have a discussion of how this could continue to impact your driving record. We would ask that the court consider imposing fines and costs and give Ms. Thomas the opportunity to pay or set up a payment plan.
Okay. Ms. Thomas, is there anything you want to tell me before I sentence you on these two files?
Besides that, I'm already on a payment plan for prior tickets. That's all.
Yeah, I see that. You got a payment due today, as a matter of fact, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Nothing else?
No.
All right. And you're not working now?
No.
And you've got one child?
Yes.
How old?
She's 2.
Oh, little. Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Thomas, I've got to tell you this or I'm not going to sleep tonight. You cannot afford to drive. You're not a good enough driver. You keep getting caught. You owe us $3,000 before I sentence you on these two files. Here's what I'm going to do. On these two files, on the Huron file, for whatever reason, that's a little later. So on the Huron file, we got some late fees. So on that one, it's $600. On the Sumter file, it's $500. That's going to get you up to $4,000. You need to contact Mr. Taylor here at the court. He's in charge of community enrichment. I know it's going to be tough for you with a 2-year-old, but you've got to hook up with him. He can hook you up with some community service, charity work. We'll credit you for hours you spend. We'll credit you money off your balance. Otherwise, you're never going to get out from under this. You understand that option?
Yes.
All right. So do you have something you can write with?
Yes.
All right. Write down this phone number, 734-941-4463, extension 264. His name is Avery Taylor. You tell him you were on my Zoom today and that you owe us $4,000 in fines and costs, and you need him to help you figure that out.
Okay.
In the meantime, you can go on our email and add these two files into your current payment plan so Mr. Taylor knows the total you're working with.
Okay.
We do have $200 bonds, so the good news is we'll apply that towards your balance to bring that down a little bit.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Is that an adjournment, Jamie?
It is, and she's coming in, but I'm sure we're gonna have a prosecutor in this one also.
Miss Medina, your appearance on Mr. Demi.
Have Mr. Defendant, Mr. Defendant, please see your full name for the record, sir.
Thomas Reed.
Thank you.
Anytime set up for pre-trial on this matter. Your Honor, we're gonna adjourn this. We just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding. Understand that the complaint that the township had was there was a wooden fence put in the front yard that was contrary to ordinance and without a permit. So that had to come down, and also removal of some boats and debris in the front yard. They tell me that that has now been taken down. If that's the case, obviously we're satisfied with that aspect of it. We'll investigate that, but I don't want to get, you know what happened
Yeah,
in those circumstances. So we're gonna come back on the 10th. If those boats and the debris is gone, as always, I'll dismiss the case.
It can be dismissed before the 10th. All you have to do is contact Heather and we'll take it off the docket.
So I will provide my client with my contact information, because the issue is, Your Honor, I was going to request if possible for him to appear on Zoom that day. It has affected in terms of his employment.
Yeah. Stop there, because what I'm hearing is you guys are gonna go out and check and see if it's done. You're gonna let Mr. Young know, and Mr. Young can just send Heather an email and say dismiss it.
All
right. So no need to come back then. Okay.
Two is,
That works on your end, ordinance,
thank you.
but I'm gonna have it on the books for September 10th. But hopefully it's resolved before then.
So much, Your Honor.
Set at 9.
I did 9 o'clock, yes. I'm giving you guys a note to appear just for the.
It's a dismissal only.
Hey, Rob, did you send Peek out of here? Is Peek in the courtroom?
Oh, it's P.
Yeah, don't ask. That's a dismissal and he is not here.
And the ordinance officer is giving you contact information right now. That's going to be the best thing to call them.
That's close, isn't it?
And then trigger.
Hey, I'm not gonna make too much fun of me because my ears are going too. He heard Steve.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're
Appreciate you.
awesome. Okay, I'm not out this week, sir.
Hey, we want to the prosecutor.
You're welcome.
What to say? Was that?
I was dropped in my head when I was a kid.
Okay.
Heather, she is out there. Is there something, you know, that says the case was dismissed? Yeah.
You're.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good work.
I should do it.
Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Oh. Wow. You got to be dead. That's a lot.
Almost.
It's here.
You good.
If you do it full time. That means we have a team. The rest of it I'll tell you later.
Say hi.
State your name for the record. Terry Bridges.
Daniel was here on behalf of Terry Bridges, Your Honor.
You tell me what we're doing.
Your Honor, Mr. Bridges, is going to plead as charged to the DWLS. I pre-tried the case with the prosecutor. She's not willing.
All right, and Mr. Bridges, you understand the possible penalty, including 2 points?
Yes.
And you've discussed your rights and options? You understand all those? Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty to the charge? Are you doing so freely and voluntarily today? Did you drive a vehicle on, what is that, March 9, 2024 in Huron Township? At that time, was your license suspended, revoked, or denied? I'll accept your plea if Mr. Bitar is satisfied. All right, what should I know about Mr. Bridges before I sentence?
Academy here in Romulus, here, single, no children. He's employed full-time, works 2 jobs, works at the airport cleaning and does security at a Ford plant in Brownstown.
Good, good.
Jeff, she just doesn't have a valid license, but he has to drive.
Have you ever had a license? Got to get one.
So I explained it when we get out of here today, he needs to go to Secretary of State and start working on
Yeah.
that process. And work is important. We know public transportation isn't that great.
I'm glad to hear you're working. Yeah. Here's the problem though. You can't afford not to have a license. Before today, you owed me $888. You can't, I mean, I don't know how good your jobs are, but they're not that good. Right? Do you have any idea what it's going to take you to get your license? That doesn't tell me anything.
Outstanding tickets, Judge, all of them. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. There are outstanding tickets.
Well, where else besides us? What other courts you got to deal with? Just Dearborn and us, that's it? So just 2 courts, Dearborn and 34th. Okay. All right. Are you in a position to get set up on a payment plan on the $888 you currently owe us? You can do some monthly payments? How much can you do and when can you start? How much? How much next month?
How about 250 months, Chris?
That's fine. All right, so what I'm gonna do on today's file, you owe $600. I'm gonna give you 90 days to pay that $600 or bring me a valid driver's license. That gives you enough time to pay these off at $250 a month.
The courtroom
You gotta get
turned
Dearborn
intense
paid
during the
off, and you
Arnold
gotta get
break-ins
your
case
license.
as
If you-
prosecutors presented surveillance
Taylor, he said he
footage,
just paid
witness
Taylor.
testimony,
So, yeah.
and stolen
Yeah.
property
So as long as
allegedly
you can get
connected to the defendant.
Dearborn out of the way.
Multiple
do
victims
what
described
Secretary of State
vehicles
needs
being
to get your
entered
license.
overnight while
If all that
cameras
happens within
captured a
90 days,
masked figure
I'm literally
moving
going
through
to pay you
neighborhoods.
$600 to get
Tension
your license.
exploded when defense attorneys aggressively challenged the evidence, arguing nobody
That's
could
all you're gonna
clearly
say?
identify the suspect from the
Thank you.
footage. Police officers testified about stopping a suspicious vehicle filled with generators,
Merry
tools,
Christmas.
bags, and other
Happy
stolen
birthday.
items shortly after the reported crimes. Heated
Understand what you gotta
objections
do.
and constant
Go
interruptions
downstairs and
filled the
set up that
courtroom
payment
as
plan.
both
I wrote the
sides
notes, but you
battled
gotta
over
walk out of here
probable
with a payment
cause
schedule for that
before the
$250 a
judge
month.
ultimately
All right?
ruled that the
Good luck.
case would move forward to trial.
You got to get Dearborn paid off and you got to get your license. If you, Taylor, he said he just paid Taylor. So, but yeah. So as long as you can get Dearborn out of the way, do what Secretary of State needs to get your license. If all that happens within 90 days, I'm literally going to pay you $600 to get your license. That's all you're going to say? Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Understand what you got to do. Go downstairs and set up that payment plan. I wrote the notes, but you got to walk out of here with a payment schedule for that $250 a month. All right, good luck.